At this year's E3 we got our first look at Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, when From showed off their first gameplay trailer for the new title. The trailer was relatively short and didn't tell us much, but while we can't draw any substantive conclusions, the imagery on display does contain overt references to other work, and in this video I'm going to talk about those influences. We begin with the titular character Sekiro and his prosthetic arm. One of the biggest influences on Miyazaki and From Software is Berserk, the horror fantasy manga by Kentaro Miura. Berserk follows the trials of Guts, a former mercenary betrayed by his commander and friend Griffith, who killed his friends, raped his lover, and cut off his arm in a demonic ceremony. Now seeking vengeance, Guts prowls the world with a small band of followers. His only weapons are his great sword, the Dragon Slayer, and his prosthetic arm. Guts' iron arm was built by his friend and fellow mercenary Rickert, apprenticed to the blacksmith Godot. The prosthetic has two modes, a cannon which Guts uses to devastating effect against his enemies, and a repeater crossbow that allows him to fire multiple arrows in quick succession. When we compare it to Sekiro's prosthetic, it's quite easy to see where the idea came from. But of course with the prosthetic from Sekiro we'll be able to do a lot more. We've already seen it used as a grappling hook, an axe, a shield, and even a flamethrower. Going back to Godot, the blacksmith from Berserk, it seems as though he was an influence for the character of Bushi. While Godot made the Dragon Slayer, the Bushi made Sekiro's prosthetic. They both share a gruff personality and live hermetic lifestyles, Bushi in a ruined Buddhist temple deep in the mountains, and Godot in a small workshop in the mountains of Midland. It's worth noting that Bushi is missing his left arm at the elbow, just like Sekiro. Also, he spends his time carving dozens of Buddhist statues, each with the left arm missing. Could these statues represent warriors who lost their limbs in a previous age? The cyclical nature of time has long been a staple of From Software's worlds, going all the way back to the first Dark Souls and its Age of Fire cycles, so it wouldn't be a surprise if Sekiro shared similar themes. The story begins when a samurai of the Ashina clan cuts off Sekiro's arm and kidnaps his young lord. The scene takes place on a hillside with a full moon layering in the night sky. This cutscene is awfully reminiscent of the Gehrman boss fight in Bloodborne. The antagonist is perched in the distance with our character looking on, the moon hanging low, and even the white flora dotted about the landscape. It's all eerily similar. Does this mean that the Ashira samurai will play the role of Gehrman, or that the moon is an important motif in Sekiro? Not necessarily. In truth, it's probably highly unlikely, but still, it's clear that Bloodborne wasn't From Software's mind when this scene was designed. Another possible influence on this scene comes, unsurprisingly, from Berserk. One of the most famous scenes from the Berserk manga is known as the Hill of Swords episode, when Guts faces Griffith for the first time since his betrayal. It takes place on a snowy hillside covered in the swords of Guts' fallen comrades, and here Griffith is perched at the top of the hill with Guts looking up towards him. If you look closely at the scene in Sekiro, you'll notice that there's swords and spears dotted about the hillside, just like in the Hill of Swords. Okay, that's it guys. Let me know what you thought of these ideas, and if you noticed any influence I missed, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your ideas.